What if your kidneys have already started healing and you didn't even notice? Imagine this. You're sitting in your doctor's office. You weren't expecting good news. For weeks, maybe months, you've been carrying around a quiet fear. Every ache, every bathroom trip, every blood test, every sleepless night. You keep asking yourself one question: are my kidneys getting worse? The doctor opens your file. He studies your latest results. A few long seconds pass. Then he smiles. Not a big smile, just enough to make your heart beat a little slower. He looks up and says, "I think your kidneys are beginning to recover." You freeze. Recover? Is that even possible? Because nobody ever told you what recovery actually looks like. Most people know the warning signs of kidney disease. Very few know the encouraging signs that healing may be happening. And that's exactly what we're uncovering today. We're going to explore the first 3 signs that may suggest your kidneys are improving. But don't miss tomorrow's episode. The final 3 signs include the one that surprises even long-time kidney patients. And it's often the first change their family notices before they do. Let's begin. Sign 1: you're finally sleeping through the night again. The first sign doesn't happen during the day. It happens while you're asleep. Think back to a night you couldn't remember the last time you slept straight through. Maybe it started with 1 trip to the bathroom, then 2, then 3, night after night. You stopped questioning it. You even joked about it. I guess this is just part of getting older. But deep inside, you miss something most people take for granted: a full night's sleep. Imagine walking down a dark hallway at 2:30 in the morning. Your eyes barely open. The floor feels cold beneath your feet. You glance at the clock. Again. Tomorrow you'll be exhausted. Again. What many people don't realize is that healthy kidneys help control how much urine your body produces overnight. When they're under stress, that balance can change. Some people begin waking several times during the night because their kidneys struggle to concentrate urine as efficiently. But here's where the story begins to change. As the underlying cause is treated, whether that's improving blood pressure, better diabetes management, recovery from an illness, or following a treatment plan, some people notice something beautiful. One night, they don't wake up. The next night, still asleep. Then one morning, their alarm wakes them before their bladder does. To anyone else, that sounds ordinary. To someone who's been waking every 2 hours, it feels like getting their life back. Now, waking up less often at night doesn't prove your kidneys have recovered. Many things can affect nighttime urination, including medications, drinking fluids late in the evening, diabetes, sleep disorders, or an enlarged prostate. But if this improvement happens alongside better kidney blood tests, and your healthcare provider confirms you're improving, it can be one encouraging sign that your kidneys are functioning more efficiently. Sometimes recovery doesn't begin with dramatic headlines. Sometimes it begins with waking up and realizing, I actually slept. But here's something even more surprising. The next sign isn't something you feel. It isn't pain. It isn't tiredness. It's something you've probably seen hundreds of times. Without realizing, your kidneys might be trying to tell you a completely different story. And once you notice it, you'll never look at it the same way again. Your urine looks less foamy. What if the biggest clue your kidneys are recovering has been disappearing right before your eyes every single morning? When was the last time you actually looked before flushing? Most of us don't. We're in a hurry. We're already thinking about work, breakfast, the kids, or everything waiting for us outside that bathroom door. Flush. Wash your hands. Move on. But imagine this. A few months ago, you happened to glance down. Something looked different. Not the color. The bubbles. They didn't disappear. They just sat there, thick, foamy, almost like someone had poured soap into the toilet. You stared at it for a second, then laughed it off. Maybe I just peed too fast. The next morning, it happened again, then again, and before you knew it, you stopped checking because deep down, you were afraid of seeing the same thing. Sometimes, the things we avoid looking at are the things we're most afraid of hearing. Here's why this matters. Your kidneys contain millions of tiny filters. Think of them like an incredibly fine fishing net. They allow waste products and extra water to pass through but they hold on to the important things your body still needs, especially protein. When those filters become damaged, protein can leak into the urine. Doctors call this proteinuria. One possible clue is urine that appears unusually foamy or frothy. Now here's where hope quietly enters the story. As kidney health improves, or as the underlying cause is better controlled, those filters may leak less protein. Some people begin noticing something they never expected. The foam becomes lighter. It disappears more quickly. Some mornings, it's barely noticeable at all. And for the first time in a long while, looking into the toilet doesn't fill them with fear. It fills them with hope. But here's something I don't want you to misunderstand. Less foamy urine does not prove your kidneys have recovered. Foam can also be caused by dehydration, concentrated urine, certain medications, or even how forcefully you urinate. That's why doctors use urine tests, not just appearance, to determine whether protein leakage is improving. Still, imagine carrying around fear every morning, then one day, realizing that the thing that used to frighten you has quietly begun to change. Sometimes healing doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. But the next sign has nothing to do with your bathroom. It doesn't happen while you're sleeping, and you won't find it in a blood test. In fact, many people notice it every single time they put on their shoes. Without realizing, it could be one of the most encouraging signs that their kidneys are recovering. And if you've ever struggled with swollen feet, you won't want to miss what's coming next. What if your shoes knew your kidneys were healing? Before you did, close your eyes for a second and picture yourself getting ready for work. You reach for your favorite pair of shoes, the same shoes you've worn for years. But today, something feels different. They slide on effortlessly. No squeezing, no forcing your feet inside, no discomfort. A few months ago, that wasn't the case. Every evening, you'd take your shoes off and see deep marks left behind by your socks. Your ankles looked puffy. Your feet felt heavy. Walking upstairs felt harder than it used to. You blamed the weather. You blamed standing too long. You blamed getting older. Because sometimes the easiest lie to believe is the one we tell ourselves. Then one morning, you catch yourself looking down. Your ankles look normal. The puffiness isn't completely gone, but it's less. Your shoes fit again. Your feet don't feel as tight. And for the first time in a long time, you don't think about your feet all day. It's amazing how something so small can make you feel like you've gotten a piece of your life back. Here's why this can happen. Healthy kidneys constantly balance the amount of salt and water in your body. Think of them as the drainage system for your entire body. When they're working well, extra fluid leaves. When they're struggling, that fluid can begin collecting where gravity pulls it most. Your feet, your ankles, sometimes even your lower legs. That's why swelling, also called edema, can happen in people with kidney problems. Now here's the encouraging part. As the kidneys begin functioning more effectively, or as treatment helps control the underlying cause, your body may become better at removing that excess fluid. For some people, the first sign isn't found in a blood test. It's found when they tie their shoes, walk without discomfort, or realize the deep sock marks have slowly disappeared. Imagine taking your evening walk again, not because you force yourself, but because it finally feels comfortable. Imagine slipping on your shoes without thinking twice. Sometimes, healing isn't measured by giant milestones. Sometimes, it's measured by the little moments that quietly return. But I want to leave you with something important. Swelling in the feet doesn't always mean kidney disease. Heart conditions, liver disease, problems with your veins, certain medications, or even standing for long periods can also cause it. And swelling getting better doesn't automatically mean your kidneys have recovered. Only your healthcare provider can confirm recovery through blood tests, urine tests, and a complete medical evaluation. Still, when improving kidney tests are paired with swelling that gradually fades, many people take it as one more encouraging sign that they're moving in the right direction. And after months of uncertainty, sometimes moving in the right direction is all the hope you need. Before you go, think about this. For months, maybe even years, you've been looking for signs that something was wrong. But today, you've learned something different. Sometimes your body whispers when it's getting better too. Today we covered just 3 of the 6 signs. But tomorrow, everything changes. We'll uncover the final 3 signs, including the one that many kidney specialists say patients notice before their next blood test, and the one that often surprises family members first. If you missed tomorrow's video, you might miss the sign you've been hoping to see. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us tomorrow. Because every day on Dr. Wells, we uncover the warning signs, the healing signs, and the medical facts that help you better understand your body. Your body is always talking. Tomorrow, we'll help you understand what it's trying to say.